Okay, so right now, there is a real estate agent making literally millions of dollars in listings from YouTube.
Yeah, it's a completely wild case study.
It really is. And, her secret weapon, she just films herself looking completely unpolished. Like she's wearing hoop earrings. There are zero edits.
She's just talking directly to her phone.
Exactly. Just talking to the camera. And meanwhile, you have these highly produced, really expensive, fully automated channels. They're just dying overnight.
It's evaporating.
Right. So today, looking at this massive stack of leaked memos, technical SEO data, and psychological research, we really have to solve a mystery here. How do you survive on a platform that suddenly demands raw humanity right at the exact moment it's handing everyone the tools to fake it?
I mean, that is the core tension of the 2026 creator economy. As a tech journalist covering Silicon Valley, I've watched platforms adapt to new trends for years. But what we're looking at today for this deep dive, it isn't a simple software update.
Right.
It is a fundamental mutation of the internet's biggest video engine.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because as someone who obsessively tracks digital marketing strategies, the rules of engagement I've relied on for years feel completely obsolete.
Oh, absolutely.
The data points to this massive architectural rebuild, and ground zero for this entire shift seems to be January 14th.
Yeah, January 14th was the paradigm shift. Before that date, the algorithm was essentially a speed reader.
Like it just scanned text.
Exactly. Titles, descriptions, tags. You could completely game it by just feeding it the right words. But on that Tuesday, YouTube integrated Gemini into its core recommendation engine.
Okay.
And it stopped reading, and it started experiencing the video.
Wait, what does that actually mean? It's like, quote unquote, experiencing a million videos a minute.
Literally, yes. Multimodal AI processes video frame by frame. It reads the micro expressions on your face.
Wow.
It analyzes the cadence of your voice to detect enthusiasm or hesitation or, sarcasm.
That's crazy.
And if you hold up a specific brand of coffee mug,
Mm-hmm.
but you never actually mention it out loud, Gemini still catalogs it. It understands the aesthetic, and it cross-references it with audiences who share that demographic lifestyle.
Just from seeing a mug.
Right. It even understands the context of a joke now.
So keyword stuffing is just completely useless now because the algorithm can tell if the actual video delivers on the title's promise.
Precisely. But that Gemini upgrade, it triggered an even bigger structural earthquake. YouTube looked at how people were consuming content and realized they had to execute what the industry calls the great decoupling.
The great decoupling. I read about this in the growth transcripts we pulled, but help me understand the actual mechanics here. Why divide your own search engine into two competing ecosystems?
Because they serve completely different neurological functions, and tying them together was actually cannibalizing long-form reach.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you posted a short video and it tanked, the old combined system assumed your channel was just losing relevance.
Which dragged down everything else.
Right. It dragged down the algorithmic performance of your 20-minute documentary. So by decoupling them, YouTube created two distinct algorithms with entirely different goals.
Let me try an analogy here, because I think about this like two different bouncers at a club. It's like the algorithm split into two different machines. The Shorts algorithm is a slot machine in Vegas.
Okay, I like that.
It's calibrating payouts based on your pupil dilation and your swipe speed in the first 0.5 seconds.
Right.
It wants rapid-fire, high-stimulation action.
Yep.
But the long-form algorithm, that feels more like a polygraph test. It's measuring deep, sustained emotional resonance over an hour.
That's a highly accurate way to look at it. And we see this play out in the data. Think back to that real estate agent you mentioned at the start.
Right, the one making millions.
Before this decoupling, she was getting maybe, 200 views on her deep dive property walkthroughs.
And the moment she started clipping those long videos into 2 shorts a day, her long-form views skyrocketed, to 40,000 practically overnight.
Yeah.
The slot machine fed the polygraph test.
Exactly. Because the Shorts engine acts as this frictionless discovery tool. It finds the audience through rapid trial and error.
And then just funnels them over.
Right. It funnels them to long-form engine for actual connection.
But I have to push back on this strategy. If the quote-unquote brain of the search engine is constantly processing trillions of interactions from this rapid-fire slot machine,
Yeah.
aren't we inherently biasing the entire platform toward superficial, hyper-stimulating trash? Like, marketers are terrified that nobody has an attention span longer than 3 seconds anymore.
Well, you would assume that. But what's fascinating here is that the behavioral data tells a much more complicated story. Let's pull up that NeuroExplore research from the stack.
Oh, let's look at that.
They brought in users who consume short-form video for over 3 hours a day, and they put them through clinical cognitive tests.
I am bracing myself. How bad is the damage?
It's significant. The heavy short-form consumers showed severe dopamine exhaustion.
Yeah.
When researchers put them through a continuous performance test, which essentially asks the user to monitor a screen for slow, unpredictable, really non-stimulating changes.
Just basically watching paint dry.
Basically, yeah. Their ability to maintain focus just plummeted. And more alarmingly, their baseline anxiety scores on the CTI index were nearly double those of low-consumption users.
So binging shorts is literally exhausting our dopamine receptors and making us anxious.
The clinical evidence points exactly there. And the sheer volume of this consumption is just staggering. The recent Web Science conference paper noted that shorts command over 200 billion views daily.
200 billion a day.
Right. And on a per-channel basis, they get 110 times more views than regular videos.
See, that's what I mean. The audience clearly wants the fast food. Why would YouTube care about our collective anxiety if the fast food is generating 200 billion views? I mean, they're an ad company. Eyeballs equal money.
Because eyeballs without engagement are becoming worthless to advertisers. Here's the anomaly in the data. Despite those 200 billion views, shorts generate a tiny fraction of the comments per view compared to long form.
Okay, so it's passive.
Highly passive. It's zombie-like scrolling. Now, look at the median views for regular 10 to 30-minute videos.
Wait, let me check the spreadsheet. Wait, that can't be right.
What do you see?
The median views for mid-length videos are actually higher than the median views for shorts.
Yep. Around 5,800 median views for that mid-length content compared to just 1,980 for shorts.
How is that mathematically possible when shorts have 110 times more total views?
Because shorts are a lottery. They are heavily skewed by a few viral mega hits that get billions of views. Long form has a much more consistent, reliable baseline.
Oh, that makes sense.
Categories like science, education, and deep dive politics completely dominate the long form landscape. The audience hasn't lost their attention span. They have just become incredibly ruthless about filtering out the noise.
So if they survive the slot machine, they want the polygraph test. They crave actual depth.
Exactly.
They're preserving their fried dopamine for something that actually matters. Which explains why YouTube had to completely rewrite how they define a successful video.
Right. Because if you know your audience is exhausted and highly discerning, raw watch time is no longer a viable metric.
Because they might just be zoned out.
Exactly. Keeping someone's eyes glued to the screen for 20 minutes doesn't mean they enjoyed it. They might have just been too paralyzed by dopamine burnout to click away.
Which brings us to the new holy grail for marketers, which is the viewer satisfaction score. This is the metric that fascinates me because it feels so elusive. Like, how do you actually measure satisfaction? I'm assuming it's more complicated than just counting how many people hit the thumbs up button.
Oh, infinitely more complicated. The algorithm calculates a whole matrix of micro-interactions.
Like what?
It measures whether a viewer rewinds to rewatch a specific visual breakdown. It measures if they expand the description box to check a source. Yeah, or if they pause the video to read a graphic on screen. And it tracks how quickly they navigate to a recommended video from that exact same creator.
So a viewer who actively engages with a 10-minute video for, say, 7 minutes
is weighted far higher than a passive viewer who zones out for a full 30-minute video and then closes the app.
It's actively rewarding friction. It's making the viewer actually do something.
And this is where the industry data gets really revealing. How do you engineer that active satisfaction? Look at the click-through rates.
Right.
Desktop organic CTR is the highest at 6.2%, but it varies wildly by industry. Gaming hits an 8.5% average, while B2B services struggle at 0.28%.
Which makes total psychological sense.
Yeah.
People click on gaming videos to relax. It's a low-friction entertainment. But clicking on a B2B marketing breakdown, that requires mental work and commitment.
Exactly. So how do you overcome that friction and convert a viewer's attention into active, measurable satisfaction?
Well, as a strategist, my instinct is always to put a massive call to action, a CTA, right at the end of the video. You deliver all the value, and then you ask them to subscribe or click a link.
You would think so, but the Clixie AI data shows the end of the video is practically a graveyard for engagement.
Really?
Yeah, by the time the video is over, the viewer has already mentally moved on. Their finger is hovering over the next thumbnail.
So you interrupt them in the middle. I mean, I hate mid-roll ads. Why would a mid-roll call to action work?
Because of the emotional peak. A well-placed mid-roll CTA-like asking a viewer to sign up for a newsletter right after you've delivered a massive aha moment, that commands a nearly 17% conversion rate.
Almost 17%. That is huge.
You capture them at the exact moment their satisfaction is highest. And the language matters too. Using strong action verbs like sign up or build this boosts responses by 19% compared to passive phrases like learn more.
You have to give them a specific mission.
Yes, exactly.
And we see this extending into the comment section too. According to the Air Media Tech playbook we have here, creators are abandoning the generic, pinned, thanks for watching comment.
Right, those are dead.
Totally dead. Instead, they use psychological hooks. They drop a micro poll in the pinned comment asking, like, do you agree with the data at minute 4, yes or no?
Or they create a scavenger hunt.
Yes. Find the Easter egg I hid at 3.12 and drop a magnifying glass emoji.
And the algorithmic result of that gamification.
Comment replies jump by 30%. Because you aren't just broadcasting to a passive audience anymore. You're pulling them into a sandbox and giving them a toy to play with.
This raises an important question, though. Let's pause and look at the philosophical implication of that.
Okay.
If marketers are engineering mid-roll placements and they're gamifying scavenger hunts in the comments, is the algorithm actually measuring genuine human connection? Or is the viewer satisfaction score just tracking how effectively a creator can manipulate a viewer's psychological triggers?
I've really wrestled with that, and I think YouTube is terrified of that exact distinction. If viewers realize they're just rats in a Skinner box being poked for engagement metrics, the trust evaporates.
Absolutely.
And once trust is gone, the platform collapses, which is exactly why YouTube went to all-out war against synthetic, low-effort content.
The 2026 crackdown on AI slop.
Yes.
We've all seen these videos. The faceless cash cow channels that just scrape a Wikipedia article, feed it into a text-to-video generator, slap a robotic voice over it, and upload 5 times a day.
People were building massive automated businesses off that trash.
Not anymore. The Falcon Digital report shows that these low-effort, automated channels are seeing their traffic crushed by a factor of 5.4.
That is a total algorithmic shadow ban.
It is. And they enforce this by rolling out the mandatory shadow label.
Let's get into the mechanics of that label because it is brutal.
YouTube instituted a mandatory disclosure for any content using realistic AI generation. If you use it and fail to check that box, you face permanent demonetization. The system now strictly enforces a standard of experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. EEAT.
Right.
The algorithm is looking for a human in the loop. If Gemini cannot detect a real human perspective driving the content, it traps the video under a 1,000 view ceiling. It will never break out.
I have to call it the staggering hypocrisy here, though. YouTube is acting like the ultimate defender of human purity, permanently banning creators for undisclosed AI. Did they just forget the massive PR disaster from mid-2025?
Oh, when YouTube applied their own AI enhancements without asking.
Yes. YouTube was caught secretly rolling out a feature that automatically smooths creators' skin, deblurred their backgrounds, and color-corrected their lighting on shorts.
Creators were furious.
Rightfully so. YouTube was literally augmenting reality while telling creators they'd be punished for doing the exact same thing.
It was a massive breach of trust. But if you look closely at their 2026 strategy, YouTube isn't actually trying to eradicate artificial intelligence. No, they are orchestrating a monopoly on it. They want to kill third-party lazy AI so they can push creators toward their own native tools. Which brings us to Nano Banana.
I still cannot believe they named a multi-million-dollar neural network Nano Banana.
The branding is quirky, but the tech is revolutionary. It's a native AI model built directly into YouTube's community posts.
Okay.
Creators can use it for generative fill, creating community artwork on the fly. But the real game changer they launched alongside it wasn't visual at all. It was voice replies.
Here's where it gets really interesting. This is the feature that fascinates me. Instead of typing out a text reply to a fan's comment, which a viewer might assume was just written by ChatGPT anyway,
Right.
a creator can hit a button and record a 10-second audio clip of their actual human voice right in the comment section.
Think about the friction we discussed earlier. Hearing the actual vocal cadence of a creator responding directly to your comment creates an intensely intimate parasocial bond.
Definitely.
A text bot can't clear its throat. A text bot doesn't laugh mid-sentence.
So my analogy for this, YouTube is basically a high-end restaurant that just publicly banned all artificial flavorings and synthetic ingredients from its menu.
Okay, I follow.
They put up a huge sign saying 100% organic.
Yeah.
But behind the kitchen doors, they just handed every single chef a state-of-the-art molecular gastronomy kit.
That is perfectly stated.
They're telling creators, don't use cheap synthetic garbage. Use our highly sophisticated tools to chemically engineer the most perfect organic-tasting meal possible.
That is the exact dynamic.
Yeah.
And it explains why the real estate agent with the hoop earrings is making millions. The algorithm, the viewer satisfaction score, the voice replies, they are all calibrating toward authenticity as the ultimate luxury good.
Because it's rare.
Yes. In a sea of polished, AI-generated slop, a slightly messy, unedited video is the ultimate proof of life. It proves you're a real human with real expertise.
So why the sudden, desperate push for deep human connection? YouTube has dominated video for 2 decades. Why are they suddenly terrified of losing their creators?
Because the existential threat isn't coming from TikTok or Instagram, it's coming from the metaverse. Specifically, the gaming industry. Let's look at the Digiday leaks regarding Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto 6.
See, I always thought of gaming as just a popular category on YouTube. People watch walkthroughs, they watch streamers play.
That was the old model. GTA 6 has a rumored production budget of $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Rockstar isn't just releasing a game. They're launching an entirely self-contained creator economy. They have been holding closed-door summits with top talent from Roblox, Fortnite, and massive role-play communities.
And the economics here are what should terrify every executive at YouTube. Let's break down how this actually works. Rockstar acquired a company called 5M, which builds custom role-play servers for GTA.
Right.
Creators are hosting their own private virtual cities on these servers, and they aren't relying on fractions of a penny from ad revenue.
No, they are charging users direct subscription fees. $25, $50, sometimes $100 a month.
$100 a month per user, just for priority access to log into the server and get some custom cosmetic items for their digital avatar.
Exactly.
They are paying to exist in a virtual space curated by their favorite creator. If I'm a top-tier creator, why would I grind out a 20-minute YouTube video hoping the algorithm favors me for a $15 CPM when I can charge 10,000 superfans $50 a month to hang out in my virtual city?
You wouldn't. The economics of a digital subscription model dwarf passive ad revenue. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is why YouTube decoupled shorts to fight the TikTok dopamine war.
Right.
It is why they built the viewer satisfaction score to reward deep, active engagement. And it's why they are violently protecting the human element of their platform.
Because if they don't,
If YouTube becomes a sterile wasteland of AI-generated content, creators will just pack up their communities and migrate to highly monetized, interactive, player-to-player ecosystems like GTA 6.
because passive consumption is dying. Active participation is where the money is. I mean, if you're listening to this, think about it from your own perspective. Where would you rather spend your time and money? Passively watching a highly edited video with a mid-roll call to action on a flat screen? Or paying $25 to actually step inside a virtual world and interact directly with a creator's avatar in real time?
It's the difference between watching a concert on television and paying for a VIP backstage pass. YouTube has to prove its VIP experience is still worth the time.
So, what does this all mean? We've traced a massive architectural shift today. We saw how Gemini transformed the algorithm from a speed reader into an active observer on January 14th.
Which changed everything.
Everything. We broke down the mechanics of the great decoupling, the slot machine of shorts versus the polygraph test of long form. We uncovered how the viewer satisfaction score measures micro-interactions rather than raw watch time, and we examined the brutal crackdown on AI slop amidst the rise of native tools like voice replies.
All of it driven by the looming multi-billion-dollar threat of interactive metaverse economies. If you take one thing away from this deep dive, whether you are a creator, a digital marketer, or just an insanely curious consumer trying to understand why your feed looks the way it does, is that your attention is the most fiercely contested real estate on the planet.
Absolutely.
The platforms are deploying incredibly sophisticated machine learning to track your satisfaction down to the microsecond. But you are adapting too. You are learning to filter the noise, demand genuine connection, and vote with your time.
That is so true. But I want to leave you with one final, slightly unsettling thought to mull over. We've established today that the unedited, slightly messy video, the stutter, the throat clear, the imperfect lighting, that is today's gold standard for proving your humanity.
Right, the proof of life.
Exactly. It's how we signal to the algorithm and to each other that we are real. But what happens in a year or two when AI models become perfectly capable of simulating that exact imperfection.
Oh, wow.
When the algorithms learn how to flawlessly fake a momentary lapse in memory or an awkward laugh, how will we, or the viewer satisfaction score, ever know the difference between authentic humanity and a perfectly engineered illusion?